Gender identity construction, influence of home, society, and culture. Page 7. B. Odisha B.Ed and Education Honors. Gender identity construction, influence of home, society, and culture. 1. Introduction. Gender identity refers to an individual's personal sense and experience of their own gender, which may or may not align with their biological sex. It is not an innate trait that one is born with, but rather a socially constructed identity that develops over time through interactions with home, society, culture, education, and media. While sex is biological, gender is sociological. From birth, a child is constantly exposed to a variety of social cues and influences that teach them how to behave, think, dress, and express themselves based on their perceived gender. Understanding how gender identity is constructed helps future educators develop gender sensitive pedagogy and promote equity in classrooms. 2. What is gender identity? Gender identity is how a person perceives themselves in terms of gender, whether as male, female, both, neither, or somewhere along the gender spectrum. It is deeply influenced by a person's social experiences, environment, and cultural values. It usually begins forming in early childhood and is shaped continuously throughout life. 3. Construction of gender identity. Gender identity is not formed naturally but is socially constructed through language and communication, social roles and expectations, visual representations, TV, books, toys, interactions in home, school, and community, cultural and religious practices. The process begins from birth and is influenced most deeply by three forces: home, society, and culture. 4. Influence of home in constructing gender identity. Home is a child's first learning environment. It is in the family where the initial ideas of gender are implanted. 4.1 Gendered parenting. Parents unconsciously raise boys and girls differently. Boys are encouraged to be strong, independent, and play with trucks and balls. Girls are guided to be nurturing, polite, and play with dolls or kitchen sets. 4.2 Division of labor at home. Children observe their mothers doing cooking, cleaning, caregiving, while fathers handle finance, repairs, or outdoor work. This teaches children that men and women have separate roles. 4.3 Communication styles. Boys are often told, "Don't cry, be a man," while girls are told, "Sit properly, speak softly." These gender specific instructions shape emotional behavior and self image. 4.4 Expectations and encouragement. Parents may encourage boys to pursue careers in engineering or sports, and girls in teaching or nursing. Family celebration of male achievements more than females also sends implicit messages about gender superiority. 4.5 Sibling dynamics. Girls may be asked to help mothers, while boys are allowed to play. Even among siblings, gender based duties and privileges influence identity. Conclusion: the family is the first and most powerful agent in shaping gender identity by enforcing stereotyped roles and expectations from early childhood. 5. Influence of society in constructing gender identity. Society refers to the larger community beyond the home: schools, peers, neighbors, media, institutions, which reinforces gender roles and expectations. 5.1 School environment. Boys often receive more teacher attention, are given leadership roles, and are expected to be active and competitive. Girls are praised for being quiet, obedient, and well behaved. Textbooks show men as scientists, pilots, leaders, and women as homemakers or teachers. 5.2 Peer pressure. Boys are teased for playing with dolls or crying. Girls are ridiculed if they act like tomboys or dominate games. Peer groups reward gender conformity and punish deviation. 5.3 Media and Entertainment. TV, movies, cartoons, and advertisements show girls as fair, slim, soft spoken, and boys as strong, dominant, and brave. Children imitate the looks, behaviors, and choices of their favorite gendered characters. 5.4 Community Traditions. Boys are encouraged to participate in religious rituals or public gatherings, while girls are expected to stay indoors or help in the kitchen. Dress codes, conduct norms, and even games played are dictated by gender norms. 5.5 Religious and institutional roles. In many communities, only males are allowed to become priests, imams, or pundits. Such roles are symbolic of power and status, reinforcing male superiority. Conclusion: society plays a strong role in reinforcing and deepening gender identity through various formal and informal institutions. 6. Influence of culture in constructing gender identity. Culture is the shared belief system, customs, values, practices, and traditions that influence individual behavior. It deeply affects the way gender roles are understood and practiced. 6.1 Cultural beliefs and myths. Cultural proverbs like Ladki paraya dhan hai, a girl belongs to another family, reflect the secondary status of girls. Sons are viewed as carriers of family name, leading to son preference. 6.2 Festivals and rituals. Boys may participate in thread ceremonies, kite flying, or warrior festivals. Girls are restricted during menstruation-related rituals or expected to fast for husbands, reinforcing unequal roles. 6.3 Marriage norms. Girls are trained from early ages to become good wives and mothers. Arranged marriage systems reinforce that a woman's role is to serve her husband and in-laws. 6.4 Language and proverbs. Cultural language often carries sexist biases. Be like a boy is equal to brave, strong. Don't be like a girl is equal to weak, emotional. These sayings become part of a child's inner belief system. 6.5 Dress codes. Girls are told to dress modestly to avoid disrespect or shame. Boys are given freedom in clothing and movement. 6.6 Food practices. In many households, men and boys eat first or get better quality food. Girls are taught to sacrifice or adjust. Conclusion: cultural norms shape deep psychological patterns that embed gender identity and differences across generations. 7. Educational implications. To break the cycle of gender stereotyping, teachers and educational institutions must promote gender equity in schools, use gender-neutral language and teaching materials, assign equal roles and responsibilities to boys and girls, teach students about gender equality and constitutional rights, encourage critical thinking, help students question stereotypes, organize gender sensitization workshops, curriculum reforms, include stories of female scientists, leaders, and sportspersons. Promote values of equality, respect, and dignity for all. 8. Role of teachers in challenging gender stereotypes. Action. Impact. Encourage girls in science math. Break career stereotypes. Appreciate boys' sensitivity. Break toxic masculinity. Avoid gender division of classroom chores. Promote equality. Support inclusive games and debates. Foster team spirit across genders. 9. Challenges in gender identity construction. Challenges. Explanation. Deep-rooted beliefs. Difficult to change mindset quickly. Teacher bias. Teachers may unconsciously hold gendered views. Lack of role models. Few gender-neutral figures in textbooks. Parental resistance. Some parents oppose gender reforms. 10 suggestions to improve gender socialization. Conduct gender workshops for parents and teachers. Include real-life stories of gender role reversals. Organize interactive plays or dramatizations on gender themes. Provide counseling and peer support for students exploring their gender identity. 11. Conclusion. Gender identity is not biologically predetermined but constructed through complex social processes. The home lays the foundation, society strengthens norms, and culture preserves them across generations. However, education has the power to transform gender narratives by creating awareness, promoting equality, and empowering learners to choose their identity freely. As future educators, it is our moral and constitutional duty to respect gender diversity, challenge injustice, and build a classroom environment where every child, regardless of gender, can learn, lead, and live with dignity.